I think I'm falling in love with you.
What about your wife?
I should have ended it that day. I should have told him the truth. But instead, I stayed. And staying changed everything. Don't leave me. Those words followed me all night. They echoed in my head as I lay beside him in bed, his back turned to me, his phone glowing quietly in his hand. Me, inner voice. His lying next to his wife, but emotionally, his holding someone else. I watched him smile at a message I had sent him, and something inside me broke. That night, he opened up more than he ever had before. Not to me as his wife, but to me as her. David, texting. I feel alive when I talk to you. I don't feel judged. I don't feel invisible. Invisible. That word hit harder than anything else. Was I really so blind? Or did we both stop seeing each other a long time ago? Over the next few days, he started depending on her. On me. Every morning message. Every goodnight text. Every "are you okay?" That he never asked me anymore. He shared his fears. His disappointments. Even his dreams. David. Sometimes I wonder, if I met you first, would my life be different? My heart stopped. Me, inner voice. This is it. This is the line. And he just crossed it. I decided to test him one last time. Not his body. His loyalty. Me, as her. If you had to choose, between what's familiar and what makes you feel alive, what would you choose? There was a long pause. Too long. David. I don't know, but what I feel with you is real. And that scares me. My hands trembled. He hadn't said my name, but he had given her his heart. I hated myself for feeling jealous of a woman who didn't exist. I hated him for loving her. And I hated us, for letting our marriage get this empty. But the truth was painful and undeniable. He wasn't cheating physically, but emotionally, he was already gone. Then he sent the message that changed everything. David. I want to see you somewhere private next time. I need to know what this really is. My chest tightened. A private place. A deeper step. And suddenly, I knew, the reveal was coming. Whether I was ready or not. Once a secret grows this big, it stops being something you control. It starts controlling you. And by the time I realized that, it was already too late. He wanted something private. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere real. And that terrified me. I stood in front of the mirror longer than usual that day. Not as his wife, but as her. The woman he was falling for. Different clothes. Different hair. Different makeup. Even my posture changed. I practiced my smile. My voice. I erased myself. Me, inner voice. If he recognizes me, everything ends today. But a darker thought followed. If he doesn't, what does that say about us? He chose a quiet lounge on the edge of town. Dim lights. Soft music. Intimate enough to feel dangerous. When I walked in, he was already there. Nervous. Excited. Hopeful. David. You came. Me, soft, altered voice. I said I would. He looked at me like I was something precious. Something new. Something he didn't want to lose. We sat closer than before. Too close. I could smell his cologne, the same one he wore to bed beside me. My heart pounded. This wasn't part of the plan. This wasn't supposed to feel this real. David.
I feel like I can finally breathe when I'm with you.
I swallowed hard. Me, inner voice. Say it. Tell him the truth. End this now. But I didn't. Then he said something I wasn't ready for. David, quietly.
I think I'm falling in love with you.
The world stopped. Not attracted. Not curious. In love. Me, inner voice, breaking. He's in love with me, but not me. My chest ached. Tears burned my eyes, but I forced them back. I couldn't let him see. Not yet. I asked him the question I had been avoiding from the start. Me.
What about your wife?
He went quiet. David.
She's a good woman. But something's missing. I didn't plan this, it just happened.
That was it. No anger. No blame. Just justification. And I realized the most painful truth of all, he didn't feel guilty enough to stop. As we stood to leave, he reached for my hand. I froze. One touch would change everything. I pulled away just in time. Me. Next time. I'll tell you something important. He nodded, trusting me completely. And as I walked away, my legs shaking, I knew the next meeting would destroy us. There would be no disguises. No lies. Only truth. Once love enters the room, lies don't sit quietly anymore. They shift. They creak. They start to show themselves. And no matter how careful you are, the truth always recognizes itself. I told him I had something important to say next time. I didn't know then whether that was a promise or a warning. The days leading up to our next meeting were unbearable. At home, I cooked his meals. I folded his clothes. I listened to him talk about work. And all the while, he was waiting for her. Me, in a voice. I know everything about him. The way he drinks his coffee. The way he sighs when he's tired. The way he touches his wedding ring when he's conflicted. And now, so does she. This time, we met during the day. Brighter light. Fewer shadows. Harder to hide. I kept my disguise, but something felt off the moment I sat down. David, smiling softly. You look familiar today. My stomach dropped. Me, forcing a laugh. Familiar how? David. I don't know. The way you tilt your head when you listen. I'd done that my whole marriage. As we talked, I slipped. Small things. A phrase I used too often. A laugh he'd heard before. A reaction that came too naturally. David.
Have we met before?
I felt my pulse in my throat. Me.
Maybe I just remind you of someone.
He studied me for a long moment. Not suspicious, but searching. He in closer than ever before. David.
I feel safe with you. Like you already know me.
I almost cried. Me, in a voice. I do know you. I chose you. I married you. And now you're falling in love with me again, without realizing it. I realized then, the danger wasn't that he would recognize my face. It was that he already recognized my soul. Just before we parted, he asked quietly, David.
Can I ask you something strange?
Okay.
If I told you I was married, would that change how you see me?
I held my breath. Me.
Why haven't you told me before?
Because I didn't want to lose you.
That was it. The moment I knew this wasn't curiosity anymore. This was emotional betrayal, fully formed, fully alive. As we stood up to leave, he reached out and brushed my wrist, softly, unintentionally. The way he touched me, the exact way he touched his wife. His hand froze. David, quietly. That felt strange. I stepped back, heart pounding. Me, in a voice. His close. Too close. The next meeting wouldn't survive this lie. A disguise can hide a face, but it can't hide familiarity. Not forever. And once someone starts listening with their heart instead of their eyes, the truth begins to speak. I knew it before I left the house that day. This meeting would be different. Not because of what I planned to say, but because of what I wouldn't be able to hide anymore. I stood by the door, keys in my hand, questioning everything. Me, in a voice. If I go, I lie again. If I don't, he'll know something's wrong. So I went. Because by then, the lie was no longer about curiosity. It was about fear. We met somewhere quieter this time. No crowd. No noise to hide behind. The moment I sat down, I saw it in his eyes. Not excitement. Not desire. Recognition. David.
You know, you do this thing when you're nervous.
My heart skipped.
Do what?
You press your thumb against your finger. My wife does that.
The room felt smaller. I laughed too naturally. Responded too quickly. I wasn't acting anymore, I was reacting. David, slowly.
You remind me of her more every time we talk.
I felt exposed. Not uncovered, exposed. Me, carefully.
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's just unsettling.
Because something inside him already knew. There was a moment, a fragile, trembling moment, when I almost told him everything. I opened my mouth. My chest burned. Me, inner voice. Say it now. End it clean. Let him hate you if he must. But then he spoke first.
I feel guilty. Not because of you, but because of how much I don't feel this way at home.
And just like that, I stayed silent. He leaned back, studying me, not my face, but my reactions.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you understand me too well.
I swallowed hard. Me, inner voice. Because I built a life with you. Because I've loved you longer than she ever could. I realized then, this wasn't a secret anymore. It was a countdown. As we stood to leave, he said something that froze me completely.
Next time, I want you to come without the glasses.
I forced a smile. But inside, panic spread. The mask was slipping. And the next meeting wouldn't survive it.